Hello, welcome to a video for Snake Eyes from the G.I. Joe line Pursuit of Cobra. Go ahead and look at the package first. If you go to the side here, you have the new G.I. Joe logo so far, at least for the Pursuit of Cobra line. You have Snake Eyes, name and character, and then Ninja Commando. The fact that he's a Ninja Commando, he has his sword, and then kind of like a visor and kind of like a ninja mask. And then since he's a commando, he's got, of course, the more military-looking um, uniform than a ninja. You know, he'd be a lot less bulky probably if he was a ninja. Then seeing some different names for this one, but as far as I'm concerned, I'm just going to call them Uzis. But of course, if anyone wants to leave a comment on where we can find the actual name and even maybe photos of these real life guns, if they exist, would be cool. And then you have another longer gun in the back. And then Timber, his trusty wolf companion that has pretty much been in with almost every Snake Eyes figure. Not every, but pretty close. Then you have the hub sticker here, which is your new TV network, but it can be removed. The Hasbro one is on the inside of the card, so you can't remove it from the outside. If you want to keep this still looking good. Then you have up here, besides the new G.I. Joe logo for the Pursuit of Cobra, at least toy line, you also have this little yellow bar that gets you number 1002, which I think stands for the second figure in the line. I saw one video though that someone made a good point that maybe the 10 stands for 2010, so definitely an interesting idea there. And then I also saw some reports saying that this originally was going to be an Arctic themed figure. I can believe that mostly because we got the Arctic threat or something like that in the Rise of Cobra, Snake Eyes. So it kind of makes sense that they wouldn't want to release another Arctic themed figure so close to that one. I think it also makes sense because you also have in this first wave Storm Shadow in a desert battle uniform, so it makes sense that you would want these two guys to be in uniforms where they can combat each other in the same line. But if you look at the card art here, you can almost see that it could also be pretty Arctic as well, because with the texturing and almost the puffiness of the collar and how high up it is and everything, I can see it being Arctic wise. You do have the new G.I. Joe logo here, but it does not look like, at least on my figure, that it's made it to the figure. Then we'll go to the back. And unlike most card backs, they don't have the different figures that are in the line, down here, little photographs, or even up here where some of the earlier 80s lines did. But in a way, they still kind of do have the figures that are going to be out in the different waves, because you do have a picture of the Dusty here, which I'm so excited to get him. Hopefully he's going to have two heads, one where he's all masked up, and then another one where he won't be. And this must be later battle in the toy line because they're already showing you the Hiss tank here. And in fact, if you go in the mission right here where it says the Pursuit of Cobra Desert Battle, G.I. Joe fights back as Cobra unleashes its new weapon, the Cobra Hiss tank. And right now, at least in the beginning, they didn't know what the ultimate weapon was or anything. So the fact that they're showing the Hiss tank already says that this is later in the story. And then you have an Alley Viper here, which is really hard to find right now because, of course, at least for me, lots of other people are looking for him, and there's only one per case is what I've seen. I think there's 2 Dukes and 2 Snake Eyeses instead. But we're supposed to get revisions. Yeah, waiting though is not much fun, huh? But so we should all get our fills of Alley Vipers if things go as planned. But then you also have a Zartan, which I'm very excited to get when he comes out. Very updated look in my opinion, but still has some throwbacks to what I'm used to Zartan originally looking like, so that's really nice. And then kind of an unnamed figure Joe right here, but it could possibly be the driver that comes with the Ostriker, which is here. Then you have a description in this yellow box that G.I. Joe is the code name for a special operations unit of highly trained men and women. Their purpose is to defend the world against Cobra, a ruthless organization with criminal tentacles in every nation on Earth. So far, this is a male-dominated line. Have not seen any reports of any female figures coming out. Not even a Baroness figure yet. Hopefully yet, you know. I like the female figures as well. So then you have visitgijoe.com, which you really should if you haven't. There's some really nice updated features to it, and it's got kind of like a Pursuit of Cobra makeover as well. Then you have the G.I. Joe file card or ID badge for Snake Eyes, where it says name classified, serial number classified, grade classified, mission equipment, hand-forged steel heirloom katana sword, which is what he's got in the package right there. And then it says that Snake Eyes is the G.I. Joe team's ninja commando. As he and his wolf Timber cross the sand, he encounters his enemy Storm Shadow. The Cobra Ninja is heavily armed, but so is Snake Eyes, with an electromagnetic railgun and a PDV-2 personal defense variant weapons. Lowering his solar modulating visor, he prepares for battle. And so then we'll show you the figure. And from the figure, at least, I cannot tell that he's Arctic at all. I mean, you could say maybe his feet kind of have cleat-looking footwear, but that could also be just to help, good traction to help him get through the desert. Another great feature with this figure is how his little guns can hang on the side here. And I say little guns, but they actually look pretty powerful right there, huh? You can clip them on either forward, or you could, if you wanted to, do it backwards. But I think it'd be easier for him to grab forward. But however you want to put them on, one of them at a time, two of them at a time. Holding them though in his hand, it's not very realistic, but again, I'm not that picky, so it's okay. They're pointing down a little bit. So it would have been nice if they could have raised these a little higher up. I think it still would have worked for the figure if they had. So kind of interesting why they chose where they did, but maybe they just look better on the figure. Try and get those back in. Then the sword in the scabbard, and it's fully enclosed. Sometimes they don't like to give us a complete scabbard. And then you got this katana that comes out. It's got a really nice handle, real detailed. The other thing you can talk about is his visor raises up, so that was a nice surprise. It doesn't really stay up completely, but this is the first time, at least in a 3 3/4 inch figure, that we've gotten at least a Snake Eyes in all black that is showing his eyes. And the reason why I say at least all in black is I thought you guys might find this interesting. If you have some of the older G.I. Joe figures, like this one, that comes with a comic, you'll see that there's a name right there, classified, and you cannot see his eyes. But in the figure, besides some painted shadow, you can see his eyes. And why that's interesting is if you go in the back, it's classified, but the first words right there are Snake Eyes owes his life to Storm Shadow. So at least in the older line, we did get a Snake Eyes where you do see his eyes and everything. But since this is supposed to be, as far as I can tell, a new universe and a new line and everything, this is, at least in this new line, the first time that we ever see a Snake Eyes where you can lift up his visor. But also in the Sigma 6 8-inch line, there's a Snake Eyes that also has uh, eyes that you can see because he has different visors that attach and night scopes and all that kind of stuff. But a nice feature. This one doesn't have any scars or anything. The one in the Sigma 6 line, they did put some scars around his eyes and everything. And then we'll look at his gun out of the package, the rail gun right there. Another nice new feature that we've gotten with this figure is a timber here. It looks rather evil, or, very protective. Don't want to say evil because he is on the good side, right? But nice little feature with him, like Snake Eyes with his moving visor. You have a little tail that you push and it raises his head. So that's kind of like, I'm warning you, stay away. And then, okay, you're not listening, time to attack. So that's really cool, and I know that the people that were telling us about that articulation were really excited that they were able to do it for the figure. Another thing I had said in one of my videos, at least, or maybe even both of my videos that I've done so far, is I said that you get a reissued 25th anniversary kind of stand and name badge type thing, but there's actually some differences in these, which is good in a collector's eyes at least, even though some things can be changed later. And I wanted to show you that the differences is, at least with the 25th anniversary one, even though you still have two pegs on most of the stands. I know some came out without two, I believe, but I think that was more on the Cobra line. But anyway, so you get a code name, and then this is Sergeant Bazooka. Unlike in this one, it's just the name of the character. Then another difference is here you have the G.I. Joe logo with no stars or anything. It's just the G.I. Joe logo. Well, I guess the one big star, but and then the stripes. Here you have the G.I. Joe logo with the star, stripes, and stars. So there is a difference. So that is nice that they did that. So collectors don't have to worry too much about which one goes with which. So anyway, hopefully I've shared some new interesting things and you've enjoyed this video for Snake Eyes Ninja Commando from the Pursuit of Cobra line. And thank you everyone that has been finding my new videos with new stuff and pushing that subscribe button. You guys have really made me feel very, very welcomed, and I do my best to check out all of your videos as well. So thank you very much, and I will see you all later. All right.